everyone, good morning. How you all doing? It's Sal, Stretford Post. Guys, it is Friday. Enjoy it. It's Friday again. Yes, it is, guys. It is Friday. I am Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post. This is Breaking Dawn, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Of course, guys, on this lovely, beautiful Friday morning, guys. We're getting there in the end, but thank you guys for joining me. Let's get straight into it. But before I do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, put your notifications on, all that lovely stuff. Be absolutely fantastic. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely brilliant. Thank you, you lovely, lovely people. Guys, let's delve straight into the news, shall we? Now, in regards to the midfield position, in regards to Manchester United have been handed a boost in regards to their midfield acquisition, one of their biggest targets. Adam Wharton has been made available for a transfer at the right price in the summer. Now, a fee of around 75 million euros apparently would suffice if in regards to acquiring the England international. Now, guys, look, I'm a big fan of Adam Wharton. I think he's incredibly underrated. I think a big part of Crystal Palace's success at the moment is Adam Wharton. And I believe that he will be an absolute game changer for Man United in that midfield. We do need to revamp that midfield. Very important that Man United get that midfield sorted out. No matter who the manager is next season, Man United need to get the midfield sorted out. Now, there was a lot of rumours about what Man United are going to do in January. I don't think Man United are going to do anything in January in regards to something significant like an Adam Wharton. There was rumours about Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves is one of them that Man United could possibly bring in maybe on loan, something like that, something a little bit more cheaper. Adam Wharton is something that is going to be visited in the summer. Crystal Palace do not want to sell Adam Wharton in January whilst the season is still going on. Of course, Manchester United have been linked with a Crystal Palace manager in Glasner, of course, and we're there to tear him up. We're going to tear the Crystal Palace team apart, haven't we, guys? So, look, Adam Wharton for me is one of the most underrated players currently in Europe. Very, very underrated. And Crystal Palace played in Europe yesterday and done, obviously, South London and London proud yesterday in winning against Dynamo Kiev, which is no mean feat, of course. Massive Ukrainian club, of course. And I like the way that Crystal Palace develop their players. I like the way that they bring them up. Because obviously, you know, in South London, when you're talking about, I used to live in a place called Croydon, and in South London, literally around the corner from Crystal Palace's football ground. And I know how it's more like the culture, the atmosphere, the heritage of the place. Crystal Palace are not forgotten about where their roots are, etc. Now, Adam Wharton, for me, would be a game-changing signing for me. I think at 75 million euros, I don't think it's going to break the bank. I actually think he'll be more effective than Baleba. A lot of people say, no, he's not. He's more consistent, Baleba. And he's something that I reckon I would love to have both of them in there. They're two different players, of course. One's a 6, one's a number 8. They're two different players, of course, but Adam Wharton is a player that I think Man United should really fight tooth and nail to get, really. He'll be cheaper than Baleba as well. Obviously, it would be great to get both of them. I would love to get both of them, as I just said. I think it'd be brilliant if we could get both of them. I don't think 75 million in this day and age is that bad. I don't. I think that's 75 million euros, if I'm not wrong. So what's that, about 60 million pounds around that mark? My math is not the best, but it would be around that mark, of course, guys. So yeah, Adam Wharton linked to Man United, huge boost. He is available in the summer. As I spoke about a few weeks ago, he's not available in January. Crystal Palace will not sell him in January, no matter what the money. So we have to wait until the summer, guys. Absolutely. Now, another player that was broke on Stretford Post as well, we spoke about him first, guys, is a player like Yahor Yarmolyuk. Yahor Yarmolyuk is a Ukrainian international currently playing for Brentford. Now, look, this is one of the players that Man United are extremely interested in as well. And this news has resurfaced somewhat. Man United are, after the Brentford game, have become even more intense in their interest in Yarmolyuk. Very, very good player, 21 years old. The future's bright for this player, and I think he will be another midfielder that would fit the bill. Now, I honestly feel a bit disillusioned by where we're going because, you know, I'm thinking about Man United in a whole and thinking about our scouting and things like that. We're not really scouting as effectively as we could possibly do. We should be scouting a lot more intensively in regards to countries like Ukraine and other places like that, and we did do, every time we've done it, we've relatively done well. Obviously you think about Nemanja Vidic and players like that, from the Eastern Europe. And I think Man United need to do that a little bit, maybe need to scout a little bit more intensively, and I think that's what we need to do. And Yarmoliuk has done incredibly well since he's been at Brentford, only 21 years old, as I said, already a Ukrainian international midfielder, versatile midfielder as well. And these are the kind of names that we're going to be hearing a lot from in the coming weeks and the coming months. Now, guys, I did break, obviously, Orozco, the Colombian player, 17-year-old, on this channel, and everyone was telling me we're not going to sign anyone. And there you go, guy. Lo and behold, he's now a Man United player almost. So the names are coming thick and fast in regards to players coming into Manchester United, and there's going to be a lot more coming as well, guys. Man United are trying to look for the next big thing, the next great player. Obviously, we already know that Adam Wharton is a fabulous player, and he will be a fabulous player for Manchester United. He is the kind of player that I feel that Alex Ferguson would have signed. I actually feel that, guys. Big up, Marky Mark. Thank you so much, you legend, for your lovely super chat. You absolute diamond. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday, my guy. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate your support to the channel every single day, my guy. Put this out in the community. How very well, brother. I hope you choose the right. I hope you choose the right team. Tomorrow, I'm tired of sacking. Just me too, Marky Mark. Tomorrow for me is a kind of a judgment day, isn't it? It's a kind of a judgment day. It is an education as to what Ruben Amorim is doing. A lot of people will believe that if Ruben Amorim picks the same team as he picks against Brentford, I think he's looking for the sack, definitely, because I cannot fathom how anyone in their right mind would pick that same team as the team that was against Brentford. I cannot fathom how anyone would do that. And he needs to make the right choices tomorrow, because as I said yesterday, he needs to help us to help him. Help us believe in you, Ruben. Help us to believe in you. We want to believe in you, but you've got to give us something to believe in you. When you're playing players from the Erik ten Hag era and the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era and the Louis van Gaal era, how can we believe in you if you're doing the same thing over and over again, which other managers have fallen on their sword by and got sacked by? Absolutely. Big up Marky Mark, though. Thank you so much again, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Absolutely. Big up Tyborg. Big up the members, of course. I hope you're doing well, Tyborg. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope family is getting good, my friend. Prayers and thoughts with you every day, my guy. Daryl, morning, Sal, brother. Just finished work. Hope we get the win tomorrow. Come on, lads. Look, I take Wharton. I would take Wharton all day long as well. What I would say about it, Daryl, is that I want to win the game, right? That number one. I want to win the game. Of course, I want to win the game, right? But my overriding concern is I believe we're going to win the game anyway, right? But my overriding concern, right, is that if he plays the same team as we played against Brentford and we win the game and it kind of solidifies his choice sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I think he needs to change that team. We need to see a future in it. We don't want to just beat Sunderland. Oh, see, I told you it works because we beat Sunderland. I don't want that. I want us to pick a team that is based on what we're going to be in the future. If we see Euro, Heaven, Mainu, we see these players playing tomorrow, I think a lot of us will be a lot more enthusiastic about Ruben Amorim and say, look, at least he's changed it. At least he's learned from it. At least he's learned from the Brentford game. These players, and I would love to sit down with Ruben Amorim one day and talk to him about it. There's a few players there that will let him down. They've let various managers down. They've let legends of this football club down, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let's not forget. They will throw you under the bus. As Roy Keane said, lepers don't change their spots. And this is exactly right. These players will throw you under the bus. So please, Amorim, quit with these players. Enough with these players. I don't care if they're your Portuguese brothers. I don't care, mate. You need to drop them. If they're not performing for the football club, they need to be dropped. Ultimately, it's about the club, the badge. That's what it's about. Not favourites and not players that are more experienced at losing, basically, because that's what they are, isn't it? Big up, Daryl. Good to see you, my friend. Big up, Ellen. Good morning. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope everything is blessed with you. Really good to have you here. Big up everyone in the stream. Big up, Stephen. Hope you're well. Hope you're good, guys. Absolutely. Tyborg, Ephraim, I think Amram should have at least one full season. I really don't like some things I see from him, but to change things around, he needs time. Rome wasn't built in overnight. That's a very intelligent comment from Tyborg, very, very true. It does depend on him, isn't it, Tyborg? And we know, isn't it? We've been speaking about it for the last couple of week or so. Everything depends on Ruben Amram, what Ruben Amram does, how Ruben Amram sees his future. Now, a lot of the Manchester United fans will back him if they see a future in the football club, if they see a direction in which we're going in. If they keep seeing the same old every single game, every single afternoon at the weekend, we're going to be, annoyed, and we're going to be like, what's he trying to do here? Is he trying to get the sack? Is he thinking about the future? Is he this? And I think that's very important, because whether we win or not, I think the fans will be a lot more understanding if he did win, if he did play players that are based and focused on the future. Now, look, Man United, it hasn't all been all doom and gloom. Man United should have at least got a draw against Arsenal. Very good performance. Should have beaten Fulham. Missed a penalty. Should have beat, and obviously missed a penalty against Brentford. And Brentford should have been down to 10 men. And things could be a lot more different. But I think the biggest concern for Manchester United fans is, in particular, the Brentford and the Man City game where we didn't play well. And I think, because we get, I don't know, it's PTSD, whatever it is, we get this, overriding deja vu of, Man United do well sometimes, but are liable to put in performances like they did against City and they did against Brentford. And I think this is the problem that people are having. It's not so much that we deserve this and we deserve that. It's the fact that, we are around the corner from another performance. We should have lost 5-6-1 against Brentford. And this is what we're concerned about. Yes, we could have drew the game. We might even won the game against Brentford. We could have done if they went down to 10 men, which they should have done, and we scored the penalty. We might have even won against Brentford. But did we deserve to win? Absolutely not. We didn't. And then when you add that on top of the Man City game, then you're looking at, well, you know what? Man United have got a couple of performances there that were really, really bad. And that Man City should have been 5-0 as well. When you're thinking about the Burnley game, however, the Burnley game, Man United should have been up 4-0 at half time, but they weren't. And this is what we're talking about, the character of the team. We were somewhat fortunate to get a penalty in that game, and we scored it, luckily. In regards to Chelsea, again, Chelsea went down to 10 men. And as I said after that game, I can't evaluate where we were after that game because obviously Chelsea were down to 10 men so early, Absolutely. Adam Walton will be big up. Ephraim, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It would be an excellent signing. Absolutely. Marky Mark. Exactly, Sal. We need to drop Bruno. This infatuation. And I question some of these fan channels, honestly. I mean, I was watching another fan channel today, and they're picking Bruno in their midfield. I mean, do these guys actually have knowledge about football? Are they actually watching football? And they're picking Bruno in midfield, and some of them are picking Bayindir in goal. And I'm like, these guys have a massive platform to splurt that garbage. It's really ridiculous. It makes me think, my goodness me. I mean, who's watching them? Me, number one, and never again. And I saw that Bruno was in the midfield. They were picking their team for the game against Brentford. Their team, by the way. And it was Bruno in midfield and Bayindir in goal. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? What are they on? And Bruno shouldn't be nowhere near that team at the moment. He needs to be punished. He needs to be out of the team. And I'll tell you why. Because what message does it send to the rest of the players that you can keep performing badly, you can keep giving away goals, you can keep missing penalties and still get picked, whereas other players put 1 foot wrong and they're dropped completely from the team? What message does that send out? What culture message does that send out to the football team? And this is exactly what I've been talking about, the favoritism. No one should be exempt from criticism in this team. No one should be indispensable in this football team. Everyone should have, should be dropped if they don't perform, especially after that Brentford game. After that Brentford game, in particular, those experienced players, they need to be dropped, especially after that game, because you know what? I wouldn't play them for a few games after that. I would punish them after that. I actually would punish them and not play a lot of those players for the next few games. And I wouldn't anyway, because obviously a lot of these players are serial failures, Morning, Joe. what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Morning. I hope you're well, mate. Very good. Good to see you, brother. And if we get Wharton, well, it would be a great signing, a lot better than Bruno. And for Wharton, reminds me of Carrick. He does, and you're absolutely spot on, Joe. It's a kind of signing that I think that Alex Ferguson, if he was around, would have signed. Definitely, 100%. If I was looking at it's a very good question, isn't it? How would our team look if Alex Ferguson was still in charge? It would be interesting. I think we have Harry Kane up front and probably Adam Wharton and things like that. But, Adam Wharton is a player that Man United need. He's the kind of player that the Man United need. The kind of player that adds that energy. I know he's a little bit injury prone, but who isn't these days? Do you know what I mean? So I would say that Adam Wharton would be an absolute game-changing signing for Man United, and Man United should fight tooth and nail to get him. Real Madrid are interested in Adam Wharton. Like I said earlier last week, is that Valverde, I think it was the beginning of this week, I was speaking about Valverde and Real Madrid. Real Madrid might part ways with Valverde because Real Madrid are looking into bringing in Vitinha. Not only Vitinha, Real Madrid are looking into bringing Adam Wharton as well. So if Man United are going to get Adam Wharton, they need to hurry up. And it's just like every other midfielder out there, because if we don't hurry up, we're going to end up losing out on these players, of course. Absolutely. Tyborg. I wish Amram is a bit more flexible when it comes to some decisions. Even Fergie used to change tactics and starting lineups depending on the opponent or the players available. There is no shame in it. There's no shame in it. But I don't actually think it's the tactics. Alex Ferguson used to have a basis of 4-4-2, and that was it, right? But only when he was chasing the game, he would change it. The only time I remember Alex Ferguson changing his tactics was when he went to 4-5-1 in the Champions League, and that was about it. But I don't think the system is the problem. I don't. I think the problem is the players in the system. And I think if we play the right players in the system, we'll be all right. We'll be fine. The problem is that his team selection is wrong, and we all know that. For example, if we played Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, and De Ligt in defence against Brentford, we wouldn't have lost to Brentford. We wouldn't. And if Senny Laments was playing in goal, we wouldn't have lost. And that's what it is at the end of the day. I don't think changing the system would change anything. Those players have done a lot with other formations, have done nothing with other formations and not achieved anything with other formations, of course. So I don't think that would be make much of a difference. However, I think that the team selection would make a huge difference, in my opinion. Absolutely. Just need Steve with the spoilers. Steve wasn't around last week, Kenny. I don't know where Steve went. He wasn't around last week. Didn't see him, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know what he's watching. He's on some super Wi-Fi or some super thing. I don't know what he's got. But Steve, guys who don't know Steve, Steve basically is a guy who joins us on watch-alongs, and he knows the score before anyone knows the score. And that's it. Kind of annoying sometimes, because obviously you're watching the game and then he's like, goal. And you're like, who to? Like, can you just... it's a little bit like, who to? Who goal for who? And we're getting all panicky and stuff like that. I try and not see it. I try my best to keep a side eye. You know what I mean? Good morning, Christian. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And now we see why Ten Hag wanted to keep McTominay. He was a perfect fit for the system. Lots of energy and drive alongside Ugarte. No, he was a bad midfielder for Man United. He's a number 10. He plays a number 10 for Napoli. He's not a midfielder. He was an absolute disaster as a midfielder for Man United. He's not a midfielder. Absolutely not. McTominay suits the Serie A. He suits Serie A because Serie A is slow. And I know a lot about Serie A. It suits him to a T. This revisionism, no. He was not good as a midfielder for Man United, McTominay. He was poor, right? And he's not the only one, I know, but he's not a midfielder. We misprofiled McTominay. McTominay was a number 10 and always was a number 10. Even in his playing days, he was a striker. As in his playing days, we forced McTominay into a midfield position, which wasn't his position. McTominay should have been up front or as a false number 9 or as a number 10. And as we know, in the FA Cup final, where did McTominay play? False number 10, false number 9. And we beat Man City and we beat him well and he played well. So I don't think he's a midfielder. It was absolutely no way. He was poor in midfield. No way. He's just like Bruno in midfield. Just the same as Bruno in midfield. Man United need proper established midfielders, not people who can just fit in a gap in midfield, McTominay as a number 10, but the revisionism is a revisionism, he's gone to Napoli, completely different environment, completely different club. League is a little bit easier, and he's doing well there, and fair play to him, and I think that's Man United is a different kettle of fish. in regards to that, especially if you're playing out of position, which he was, you know. Big up Sanjay, how you doing, my friend? Big up Sanjay, big up yourself. Guys, don't forget to smash a like, guys. 64 in the house, should have 50 likes, guys. Every morning on Breaking Dawn, we need to aim for at least 50 likes, guys. Very important we get that 50 likes, guys. Mark, guys, thank you so much. Of course, thank you. Yeah, look, you know, at the end of the day, what I would say is that Man United have lacked balance. Over the years, we've lacked balance. We've lacked a team that fit the system, not only fit the system, but also in their correct positions. And I think this has been Man United's biggest problem over the number of years. You know, we've never finished the project in regards to the Ineos and stuff like that. We've never finished it. And I think that now it's a perfect example of what we were saying at the beginning of the season, you know. It's the same thing, you know. Big up. Yeah, so I think that's the same thing, you know, and I think Man United need to finish projects. They don't finish projects, they don't even get them started, you know. Tyborg, the popular players have a huge online following. Could it be that the club forces Ruben to play some players? Commercial reason? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, just a thought. I wouldn't be surprised either, Tyborg. I think I mentioned this a couple of times this week. Look, you know, people think that nothing sinister happens in football. I would beg to differ. Sinister things happen all the time in football. These kind of things happen all the time in football where players are forced to play, you know, certain things. Even in the England team, I know it for a fact. In the England team, the manager of England was told to play certain players. And I think this happens at Man United. I think the fact that Bruno is on 300 grand a week, he's a 100 million pound player, obviously, because Saudi Arabia bid 100 million for him. The fact that, you know, he's an asset for the football club adds weight to the narrative that he's being played because of, obviously, his worth. And I think that could be true. I actually think that. And Ruben Amorim hinted at something like this a couple of weeks ago when he said that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I find it really strange how some of these players continue to play despite their performances, because we all know with Ruben Amorim's quite quick to drop players, other players, you know, i.e. Lenny Yoro had one bad game and then he'll be dropped, you know. And I don't think it's far-fetched to say that some of these players are being played because the board are saying they're being played, you know. I don't think it's that far-fetched to say that. I think it's absolutely true. I believe that. I know it's sinister, but I believe it, you know. Good morning, Garrett. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you again, my friend. It looks like Bruno is running the show. It does, Garrett. It looks like, because I remember I saw something on after the Burnley game, and I think Bruno was on the bench doing all this business, you know, pretending for the cameras. And everyone was getting gassed about it. Everyone was talking, oh, look at Bruno. Look at him. Blah, blah, blah. Proper captain. Blah, 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 blah. And I was saying, look, this guy's just playing up for the cameras. Look, you know, he undermined his manager by talking to the media about Lenny Yoro. That's undermining the manager and your football team, right? And other players have been punished for that. Also, he's been speaking in regards to Ben Jacobs, who said yesterday that he's not happy in the midfield position. He's speaking that. Whether we agree with him or don't, which we do agree with him, he's not good in that position and we wouldn't want him in that position. He shouldn't be talking to media and leaking things in the media that he's not happy in that position. He should be speaking to Ruben Amorim that he's not happy in that position. And I'm pretty sure Ruben Amorim will work something out in regards to that. But if he carries on just accepting it and playing it regardless, then, you know, that's his fault, you know? Metal, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you this morning, Sal. Do you expect any personal changes this weekend, or will we be doing this? I would like to hope so, Metal. I really hope so. I'm dying for him to change it. I really am, because I know that Man United are not as far away as it seems. You know, I actually believe Man United are 1 or 2 or even 3 changes away from actually competing. I actually believe that, you know, you're looking at the games, you look at the Brentford game, you look at the Fulham game, right there, you know, and you look at the points that we could have achieved, how close we were. And I actually believe that we have more points on the board, probably about 4 to 6 points more right now than we would do if we started with the same team. You never know what would happen anyway. Obviously, it's all hindsight, you know, but I actually believe if he picks the right team, I actually believe we'll be a lot more better than where we are in the league right now. You know, I don't think it's as bad as people think. Absolutely not. Man United cannot have 11 new player in. Why not? Garrett, Sal, I can't remember, but which position did he play in European final last season? In the midfield, mate. In the midfield. If you talk about Bruno in the midfield, the team in the final, it was Mason Mount as the number 10. If I'm not wrong, am I wrong? If we're looking at the team, we had Højlund up front. We had, I think Mason Mount played in that game, didn't he? Ahmad played in that game. I'm not sure what the midfield was, to be honest with you. I think it was Casemiro and Bruno. It must have been Casemiro and Bruno. I think one of them, it was Casemiro, Bruno. I can't remember the rest of the team. Mason Mount, he definitely played. I mean, I may be wrong. I may be clutching at straws here, but it was that. It's something along those lines. The game against, look, in regards to Bruno, okay? Like, in regards to Bruno, I actually think no matter where Bruno plays, I don't think he's the same player as he was. And even a number 10, I still think he's ill-disciplined in his position, even as a number 10. But it's even worse when you're playing in the number 8 position. That is not your position because it creates more space for the opponent. As we know, that the midfield position is the engine of the team. I feel like Bruno Fernandes is finished. I do. I don't think he's that player anymore. I think we need to move on from him. I think Cunha and Mbeumo are better than him at the moment. I honestly think that at this moment, they add more to the team. Because when you're looking at Cunha and Mbeumo scored 20 goals last season. Cunha scored 15 and all the assists that they made as well. So these players right now currently are better suited for the Premier League. They're ready. I think Bruno Fernandes either should be a bench option or sold. And that's my opinion. I just think that because at the end I don't know why we are clutching so hard onto players that, it's failed, and in the last 8 years, it's not done. And the toxicity around him is too much. Do you know what I mean? Ephraim, Sal, if you have to press the button, what you would change in this team? Lots of things, mate. If I press the button, it'd be Lemens, Yoro, Hayden Heaven in the defense. It would be, I'll probably try Diego Leon as a left wing back. I'll probably play, I'll probably bring in Mantato as a right wing back. I'll probably bring in Ugarte and Mainu as the midfielders, and it'll be Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko up front. Quite easy for me to say, straight off the cuff, but I would say that, the team selection would be completely different. I would have a few more youngsters on the bench as well. I will be trying to integrate some of the youngsters that are there already because I know that they're very good, i.e. the Fletcher brothers, and you've always got Ibrahimov and Musa and Gino and Martin and these players there. We got a lot of players there that I would be trying to integrate into the team. Absolutely. Exactly, Sal. It doesn't hold his position. He's all over the show. He's all over the show. Even as a number 10, even though if people remember when Bruno played as a number 10, he was all over the show. He was, even then. And even back then when he was playing as a number 10, people were saying that he's ill-disciplined in his position. I agree with that absolutely wholeheartedly, Good morning, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Good morning, Sal. Good morning, Gary. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you, my guy. Yeah, look, positions are very important in the football pitch. I always bring in the Champions League final in 98-99 when we had Roy Keane and we had Paul Scholes suspended for the game, as we know. We had to move Beckham into the midfield. We had to move Blomqvist to the left. Blomqvist was a backup left winger anyway, but we had to move Ryan Giggs onto the right and midfield. And it disrupted the whole balance of the team, if you remember. And Bayern Munich should have been 3-0 up in that game. And I give you that little example. No matter how much quality you have in your team, if you don't have players playing in their correct positions, you're going to struggle. Now, guys, people who know me know I'm a very, very against inadverted wingers. I dislike inadverted wingers with a passion. I like right players playing on the right, left players playing on the left, right midfielders playing on the right, left central midfielders playing on the left. And again, same goes for the defense, left and right, the same. Inadverted, it doesn't work. It creates imbalance. And this is why you don't score goals, because when you're playing inadverted wingers, the players are much more inclined to cut in rather than go on the outside and cross that ball with their natural foot like Beckham used to do or Ryan Giggs used to do, Right? There's a reason the greatest manager of all time, Alex Ferguson, never played inadverted wingers. The closest we got to inadvertedness was Dennis Irwin, who some may argue was a right footer playing on the left, but he was two-footed in my opinion. He was two-footed and he could play on both sides effectively, Absolutely. Guys, Tomorrow is such a big game, and I'm telling you now, like, guys, we may win the game, but as I said, I want to see a plan. I want to see a focus on the future. I want to see a different Man United team now. I don't want to see the same team as I don't want to see any of those experienced players that played against Brentford. I'm talking about Short, Dalot, Maguire and Bruno. I don't want to see any of them on Saturday, but, I will let Ruben Amorim off if Bruno's playing in number 10, or he moves Bremo to the right and plays Bruno as a 10. I would let him off in regards to that, but I doubt he's going to do that. I mean, we all know it's fat chance that he's going to do that. He's not going to do that, and this is where we're going to have a problem. This is where the indefensible side of things come, guys, at the end of the day. Kenny, I'm hearing the new buzzword called best attacking goalkeeper. Guess from who? Who's the best attacking goalkeeper? What's an attacking goalkeeper? Goalkeepers are there to save shots and collect crosses. That's what goalkeepers are there to do at the end of the day. All this notion, all these buzzwords, obviously, about attacking goalkeepers. Weren't people saying that about David De Gea when David De Gea was here, that he's not an attacking goalkeeper, he can't pass out from the back, blah, blah, blah. We need to see some passion, Ellen. We need to see the right lineup tomorrow, Ellen. I mean, you can have all the passion you want. You can run more than the other team. If you've not got the right lineup, and if those players are simply not good enough, we're not going to win football matches. There was a reason, Ellen, that I was calling out the lineups after the first game against Arsenal. There's a reason that I called it out, because I knew that, it's not the right lineup, and we need to think more simple. Players need to be playing on their correct positions. Right footer, right back, right side, left footer, left side. That's how it should be. Forget the inadverted. Learn from the best. Learn from Sir Alex Ferguson. Never used to play inadverted wingers and stuff like that. Always used to, more times than not, play the natural-sided players, of course. Sal, Arteta said that's Sal David Raya. Oh, that's me. Arteta, he's one of the most cringe managers there is in the game. He's so cringe. I don't know how anyone takes a fancy to that guy. I don't know. I mean, that guy is so patronizing. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, I wish him nothing but the worst. I really do. I'm sorry, guys, but I wish him nothing but the worst. I don't like Arteta. I think so. I don't know what he reminds me of. Have you ever seen Cool Runnings? You remember the film Cool Runnings? Right? Do you remember there was a Jamaican bobsleigh team, right? If those who haven't seen Cool Runnings, it's a true story about a Jamaican bobsleigh team. And as we know, bobsleigh is about snow and ice, right? And the bobsleigh team, the Jamaican bobsleigh team, were getting basically bantered because they were Jamaican and they were a bobsleigh team. Now, in that film, there was like a guy who was very arrogant. I don't know if he's Austrian or Swiss or something like that. And he was like, Jamaican bobsleigh team. He reminds me of Arteta. It reminds me of Arteta. It reminds me of when, Arteta, his mannerism. He's just got this mannerism, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just arrogant, very arrogant, unjustly so, not won anything, and look, it's really difficult for me at the moment as a Manchester United fan, seeing Liverpool at the top and seeing Arteta there as well. It is like, what do you want to choose to keep, your thumb or your finger? It's like that, isn't it? It's like, oh my goodness, how did we get in this position, guys? How did we get in a position where we actually have to look at the top of the table and see that, what are Man United doing to us? What are they doing to us? They need to change the record. Do you know what I mean? They really do. They need to change the record. Marky Mark, yes, these players have a weak mentality. Put us in, Sal, and we'll show them, and we will show them. Absolutely, man. Mentality is a lot of things. A weak mentality is a big thing at this football club, especially if you're experienced in losing. It is contagious and it is addictive. Just like success is addictive, losing is addictive as well. And I think we're addicted to losing. And the worst thing about Man United at the moment is that it's almost like it's okay to lose. I remember when Man United used to, I don't know if you remember, Marky Mark, when Man United used to lose back in the day, and we didn't used to lose a lot, and it was like doom and gloom, like the clouds would hover over, and we were sad all week, angry all week, and we just wanted the next game to come quickly. You remember, and these days, it's like, oh, well, another one lost. Okay, whatever. We get upset, we get angry, but it's not like the old days. Listen, guys, back in the day, I used to be close to tears when Man United used to lose. I used to be like, oh, my goodness me. I used to be close to tears when Man United lose. Honestly, it was horrible. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Marky Mark, feel the rhythm, feel the vibe, and get on up. It's bobsleigh time. Big up, Marky Mark. Great film, mate. Great film. Absolutely. And if you watch their rival bobsleighers, if you watch the rival ones, you would understand what I mean when I speak about Arteta in that. Absolutely, you would understand what I mean in regards to that. Neil, good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Thoughts on comments that Mainu might leave if Ruben stays as manager. In my opinion, we need to let go of a player no matter what. Also, Bruno, set player of the month, commercial club. Why is Bruno? Yeah, look, one thing, let me start with Mainu. If Mainu wants to leave, open the door, leave. I don't care. Honestly, if you want to leave the football club, leave. You're not bigger than a football club. You know what I mean? Work hard, that's it. However, in Mainu's defense, I understand slightly. Because Bruno Fernandes is not being dropped. And despite his performances being subpar, he's not being dropped. Bruno Fernandes needs to be dropped. It's only fair. I like fairness in football. I like fairness in sport. You know, I like sportsmanship. And I don't think there's sportsmanship going on there. I think there's favoritism going on there. I don't know whether it's a Portuguese thing. You know, I don't know whether he's the captain, why he should always play. You know, and then obviously Ty Boggs said it earlier about the sinister nature of Manchester United in regards to, is he being picked because the board are telling him to be better pick Bruno because Bruno's on this much money and blah, blah, blah. If you're not going to sell him, you better play him. And I feel sorry for the likes of Mainu. I really do, because Mainu was a generation who was in the England squad, played in the European final, of course, with England, and he's a brilliant player. And I think he should be playing. I think it's only fair. He should get his fair chances, you know, at the end of the day. In regards to the player of the month for Bruno being player of the month, you might as well give it to me. Because I'm telling you now, I've shown more passion than Bruno this last month. And I'm telling you guys right now, right, how on earth can Bruno be the player of the month? How on earth? He's been our worst player so far this season. He's given away how many goals? He's missed how many penalties? De Ligt and Mbeumo have been better than him. Let's be honest, guys. De Ligt and Mbeumo have been better than Bruno Fernandes. That goes to show you favoritism within the club. That goes to show you that upstairs, they value Bruno to the point that he's untouchable. That shows you, isn't it? That shows you favoritism, and that shows you that something sinister is going on. Do you know what I mean? Agree on Ted Down said he was a crybaby when he was still playing, and he is the same manager as a manager. Never liked him, to be honest. I don't like him, and he's a very horrible guy as well. He's an arrogant guy. I've heard from loads of people, by the way, incredibly arrogant, incredibly sarcastic, and looks down on people. I've heard that a lot from about Arteta, and I don't like him. I'll be honest, guys, I don't. And I've heard stories about him from various people that, you know what, he's arrogant, he looks down on people, he doesn't sign autographs, blah, 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 things like that, you know. And I just taken a dislike for him, I really do, you know. I believe everything I heard as well, you know. They got Tybook. Ellen, Man United need to stick to a manager like Arsenal did. Can't stand Arteta myself, but they got a top team, and we are not. They are a top team. They don't have players like Mason Mount, Ellen, playing for them, and they wouldn't. He wouldn't even get in the squad. You know what I mean? And Bruno wouldn't either. They have a top team, but they're not winners. So I would judge a top team when they win something. You know, you can get in your semi-finals and your finals. So did Man United under Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag won more than Arteta. You know, so let's wait and see and let them win something. I know they play pretty lovely tiki-taka football, whatever it is. I don't think they do. I think they play Tony Pulis ball. They do a lot of crosses in the box and things like that. They're a glorified Tony Pulis team, but they're effective in what they do. They get results. But I wouldn't say that they are a top team until they've won top prizes. You can't call yourself a top team until you won top prizes. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Gary, but to me, Bruno to 10, Bremo to the right, and Mainu to the number 8 was always the simplest solution. So I'm not sure why it's hard to complicate it for Amram. I know. If you want to play Bruno, play him as number 10 and play Bremo on the right. And we've been talking about this for a while now. I don't know why, because Bremo has played on the right a few times, and I don't know why he doesn't try that. And this is where it gets to the indefensible side of things. This is where it gets to me. You need to help me to back you. You need to help me to back you, and he's not helping me to back him, and that is the problem, at the end of the day, guys. Big up, Gary. Metal. Big up, Metal, by the way. Sal, would you swap our position with Arsenal right now? They get stick for just being in the top 4 without trophies, but we got 2 cups. Would I swap my position for Arsenal now? Now, yes. Over the last 5 years, no. Because we got more trophies than them, and I believe football's about winning trophies. Right now, if we could swap our positions with Arsenal right now, yeah, of course I would. They're in the Champions League, they're in the top 4. However, if Arsenal come top 4 at the end of the season, and we come top 8 and we win an FA Cup and league, or we win an FA Cup, that's where the question comes, isn't it? I might sacrifice the FA Cup for the Champions League, to be fair, but because we won it before. But I would say that, yes, right now I would swap our position with Arsenal. Of course I would. But over the whole 5 years, or the whole 6 years, 7 years that Arteta has been there, I wouldn't swap it, because I think we won more trophies. Last 2 years been awful for Man United. It has been awful for Man United. We haven't been great. And we are where we are. Kenny, international football and local fans deserve players of the month. Absolutely. Yeah. Look, I don't know how he's got player of the month. It's an absolute disgrace. Even Sesko has been better and assist. No, we have to stick by Ruben to get rid of the sinister way, so majority of the fans can wake up and the next manager falls in a commercial trap. Yeah, mate. No manager. Look, I would love to be wrong, guys. I would love to be wrong. I would love any manager, Areola, Glasner, Zidane, to come into Manchester United and completely change Man United into a title challenging team. It would be a dream, because we deserve it at the end of the day. But yeah, Ruben Amorim needs to get results. Okay, absolutely needs to get results. Sesko deserved the player of the month. I agree in regards to Bruno getting it. It was ridiculous. But Ruben Amorim needs to get results. There's no change in that. We can't keep losing games. And if he loses to Sunderland on tomorrow, he's going to have to walk. That's not because I want it to happen, but the pressure keeps mounting on him every single week. You lose to Sunderland, you have to look at yourself and say, if I'm losing to Sunderland, who the hell am I going to beat? And that's what we have to look at, And I think he needs to start getting results now, bro. I think now he needs to think about just getting results. Forget about the performances. I'm not interested. Get the results. And not only get the results, we know that if you play the right team, Ruben, you're going to get the results. I think we got good enough players, that you're not playing at the moment. We know if you play the right team, you will get results, Ruben. And I think that is what he needs to do. Ultimately, he needs to fight and to get results, and also play the right team that concentrates on the future of this football team as well. And not just go back into default settings with the same serial losers that we've had for the many, many years now. Some a decade, isn't it? Ellen, does Amorim need to play certain players? How much power does Ineos have on the team selection? I heard early this week. Ineos being involved. Yes, they are. Ineos, in particular, Jason Wilcox, Barada, and Vivel are very involved in Manchester United, even the team selection. Look, Ruben Amorim isn't a manager. He's a first-team coach. I would say that is his title, first-team coach, right? So he's not a manager, so to speak. So he's coaching the team. So anytime Ineos can come along and they can say, right, Ruben, you need to play Bruno because Bruno's getting this much money. Bruno's worth this much money. He's a very important player for us. We need to play him, blah, blah, blah. And maybe he is being forced into it. Maybe we're wrong, but maybe he is being forced into it. I do know that sinister things happen at football clubs. I do know that the board do get involved. Abramovich got heavily involved in Chelsea sometimes, and other board members have done that in the past at other football clubs. And I do believe that Ineos have that ego where they would come down and say, look, listen, we need to play this, we need to play that and this. However, if you are a strong manager, you ignore that and you play the team that you need to play to win games. And that is what it should be. You should not be swayed. Even if the board come down to you and say, listen, in your ear, and they say, listen, you've got to play Bruno at the weekend. Say, look, I don't want to play Bruno because we can't fit him into the team. We've got Brentford, we've got Cunha. I can't fit him into the team. I would much rather play a much balanced team, And that's what it should be. It's not ultimately down to them, but there is influence. There is influence. I wouldn't say there's not, and that doesn't happen, because it does. There is influence, but it's up to him as a coach to make the changes on the match day and pick the team that ultimately is good enough to win the game, of course. Yes, Kenny, they are. Sal, if Amram changed the personnel, it will be fine. Come on, United, absolutely. Kenny, at this moment, everyone above top 8 are top team. Top teams win things, Ellen. Top teams are teams that win things. You're not a top team. So Sunderland are a top team. They're in the top 5, top 6, right? Top teams win things. That is a top team. Because where do you go with this? At the end of the day, let's not overgas them. They are Tony Pulis, glorified Tony Pulis team that gets results because they play Tony Pulis ball from corners. Yeah, top teams win things, and you're arguing with the best here, Ellen. Ephraim, smash the lights. Thank you so much. Big up. Neil, we could say no to swapping under Erik ten Hag. We looked a bit more serious. We could say no to swapping under... What's that? We could say no to swapping under Erik ten Hag. We looked a bit more serious. I don't know about that. Big up. Everyone hit the lights. Thank you so much, Marky Mark. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Mark, if you look at Arsenal's set piece foul, the keeper goals, they would be lower than us. Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't have beaten us. It was a foul. Everyone knows it was a foul. Everyone knows that was a foul, guys. Look at the goal against Newcastle. How late they scored. That's football, though, isn't it? That's what football is. That's the fine margins in football, isn't it? Big up, Sniper Man. Hope you're doing well. Benny, it's 90 in the room. Only if you don't. Guys, come on. Don't forget to smash the lights, guys. What's going on? Please don't forget to smash the lights. Very important for the algorithms and stuff like that, guys. Very, very important. Guys. Neil, the fan base is split because fan channels don't keep true to themselves and the club. How many backtracked on Bruno now? Domino effect onto the manager. It always going to happen. Mate, look, at the end of the day, I'll give you an example, guys. When McTominay and Rasmus were at the football club, they were being slandered by those same people. The same people, and Garnacho, the same people were slandering them week in, week out, every single week. You know what I mean? And they changed their opinion based on their narrative. So they'll change their narrative based on, if it fits it. They change their opinion based on their narrative, basically. They don't want to be proven wrong. So they'll change it. So everything that happens to Man United right now, just like Erik ten Hag when he was injuring players and his training was a problem, everything right now will be Ruben Amorim's fault. They will not call out the owners. They will not call out the Glazers. They will not call out Ineos because they are enemies of the football club. They could call themselves Man United fans, but they're enemies of the fan base. They're enemies of Man United because they don't call out the real problems at Man United. They don't. And this is the thing. They'll just attack the manager who, as many people agreed last week, the manager's 10 to 15% the problem. The rest is the board and the players, Ephraim, Sal, how Bruno get man of the match? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Sinister. Probably sinister reason. I felt Delict. I felt Embremo. I felt Sesko. Cunha were better than Bruno this month. Thank you so much, David. Big to see David Sumner. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for smashing the like. Really appreciate it, mate. Guys, it does mean a lot when you smash the like. It does help the stream. It does help me keep going, guys, as well, to do more streams, to keep going, to keep growing and stuff like that. That's what we need to do. And those people who are in the house have not subscribed yet. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, guys. Very, very important, guys. Thank you. Very much, of course. Sal, do you think Lamens will be in goal? I think he should, yes. Willie, I don't know. I think I'm going to guess this time. I'm going to say yes, he will be in goal. He should be in goal. For goodness sake, Bayern, there's such a poor goalkeeper. Did you see he's made less saves than anyone else in the Premier League? I mean, unbelievable. He lets in more goals than I mean, on average, and all these statistics and all that. He's the worst goalkeeper pound for pound in the Premier League. There we go. He's not even, for me, he's not a championship goalkeeper. And I think that, you know, we need to bring Lamens back in. And I think he should be playing absolutely, Gary. 100%. And if he doesn't play tomorrow, I don't know what to say. Ellen, I need to see Senny Lamens. I don't care if he's ready or not, but he's ready, mate. Trust me. Banya will never be ready, so why not put Lamens out there and see what he can do against all the demons? I mean, yeah. Senny Lamens should have played as soon as he signed for the football club, and maybe would have conceded less goals than we have conceded. You know what I mean? I've been watching Senny Lamens a year. As people know, I worked in football for a long time, and I know Senny Lamens is good enough to play for Manchester United. Not only good enough, he will become an absolute brilliant player for Man United. He will be a great goalkeeper for Man United. He's 23. David De Gea signed for Man United when he was 20. You know, so I don't know what we're waiting for. Courageous. He who dares wins. You know, a fortune favors the brave. You know, you don't win anything with comfort zones. You don't create greatness with comfort zones. All those analogies that I can throw out there. He needs to play the team that has the best possibility in winning the game, and stop doing things that are not winning the games. You know, because it's just cowardly. You know. Culture Spot, what's going on, mate? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Morning, a new manager will lose to Liverpool anyway, so Ruben may get himself sacked with a poor result tomorrow, or the board might not want to give him the 15 million compensation before November. All I hope for, Culture Spot, all I hope for is a win tomorrow and a win against Liverpool. Unfortunately, Ruben Amorim has left himself in a position where he can't really lose any more games and for the next couple of months. And that's my opinion. I don't think he can lose any more games now. He has to wait at least a few weeks or a couple of months till he loses his next game. Hopefully he doesn't. I think he can afford a draw and a win. I think against Sunderland, he has to win. Against Liverpool, he can afford a draw. And I think that will buy him time till December. However, if he goes on to, like, you know, for example, it's not only the Liverpools of this world that I'm worried about, it's also the West Hams, the Brightons, the Tottenhams, the Newcastles. These teams I'm also worried about as well, because over the last year or so, we haven't beaten these teams, you know what I mean? And we need to beat these teams as well. It's not just Liverpool. It'd be fantastic, though, if he manages to defeat Liverpool. If he beats Sunderland and he beats Liverpool, and I know we've been here before, he has the opportunity to change his own destiny. He has the opportunity. Now, there's no better time to play Liverpool. I know they've won 4 out of 5 out of 6, right? But there's no better time to play them. They've got the injuries. They've had a couple of defeats. Maybe it's a good time to play them. You know, at the end of the day, what I said, you know, you are in charge of your own destination. You can make the change yourself. You know what I mean? You could beat this. Liverpool are not invincible. They're not invincible. If they're invincible, they've been winning how many Premier Leagues every single year? They've had 2 Premier League titles in 30, 40 years, guys. 2. You know, so what we need to do is go out there against Liverpool and win that game. But ultimately, first, we've got to beat Sunderland. And Sunderland had no mean feat. Sunderland's not going to be an easy game. So we all know that Sunderland have been playing very well this season. You know, they 10 men, they outplayed Aston Villa, you know, at the end of the day. Big up Yale, what's going on, mate? You're doing well. That is a thing. If Vivell, Wilcox, and Barada are not Ineos, they are hired by Manchester United only. Ineos, the person left is Ratcliffe. They all hired, just like Ruben is Ruben also Ineos? No, but that doesn't mean anything really. You're speaking a whole lot of nothing, Yale. To be honest, it doesn't mean anything when they got a duty to do something. You know, their duty is this, their duty is that. What does it mean they work for Ineos or not? It doesn't matter. They're instructed by Ineos. So they work for Ineos. Right? If I'm a contractor, right? If I'm fixing your washing machine, for example, and basically let me rephrase that. If I'm going into a company, right, let's say Sony, and I have to fix a leaking roof, right? My duty is to fix a leaking roof, right? I am working for Sony, right? I'm working for Sony. I'm not employed by Sony, but I'm working for Sony. So I am basically Sony, right? I'm a representation of Sony. So what these guys are is a representation of Ineos and Manchester United, ultimately. You know, they're employed by Manchester United, right? But they are representatives of Ineos, because Ineos are the ones that instruct them. You know, so that it's like having different companies, contractors within the football club, you know, and that's what I would say. So it doesn't really matter who they're employed by if they're being instructed by those to do the job that they're told to do. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean. Ellen, what I meant is that every team above us looks like a top team compared to us. You called them a top team. You didn't say they look like a top team. You called them a top team, Ellen. Let's not backtrack. You called them a top team. You said they are a top team. They look like a top team, potentially a top team. Absolutely, Ellen. Big up, Ellen. Big up. Metal. Sal, do you think Slot got exposed once? I told people about Arnie Slot. People think I've talked crap. You know that. I don't know what people don't listen. You know, I said last year, right? I know that Arnie Slot won a league, but I said when he came into the football club, I said he just needed to press play. That's all we needed to do. I said, let's judge Arnie Slot when he builds his own team. Let's see how well he does then. You know, and yeah, he started the season relatively well. It's not doom and gloom for them. Yeah, they lost they're doing all right. They haven't played well, but they're doing all right. I would also put into context what happened with Jota as well. You know, so I think there's a lot to be answered with Arne Slot. There is, because he won the league with Jurgen Klopp's team, of course. You know, absolutely. Garrett, great stream, Sal. Enjoy your day. Big up, my friend. Good to see you. Kenny, Slot's tactics are for getting found out. All these last-minute winners were pure luck. I mean, imagine where they'd be right now, Kenny, if they didn't. You know. Ellen, all the other Man United channels are making a living for clicks. Yep. The more they stir up the fans, the more clicks they get. Some with the media, you know, because they have no talent, mate. If it wasn't for social media, a lot of them wouldn't have platforms, and that's the absolute facts. Before social media came out, before YouTube was coming out, I was already on television. I was already doing music. I was already on MTV, Kiss, everything. You know, without the help of YouTube. YouTube made it easier, you know, for these guys. You know, and what I would say is that they use negativity as a fuel to their platforms, you know, and they don't love the football club. That's why none of them said happy birthday to Duncan Edwards. None of them said RIP to Sir Bobby Charlton when he passed away. None of them said RIP to Sir Dennis Law, I would say, when he passed away. None of them even tweeted it. None of them. Go and look at their platforms. Look at their platform. Look at the Saids. Look at their aunts. Look at them. See if they really, truly love Man United. See if they've mentioned Bobby Charlton. See if they mention Dennis Law. See if they mention Duncan Edwards. They'll never mention him because they don't support Man United. People need to wake up and peep the game. That's what they need to do. They need to wake up and peep the game. They're not, I mean, all fair to them. They're making money, and I have nothing against a brother making money. Nothing against that. You know, I have nothing against my brothers and sisters making money all around the world. It's a difficult life, but we have to understand what the facts are here. The facts are the facts, guys. They're not Man United fans. I know a lot. I know more than I should. I've been told by various people, but you know, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And people need to wake up and smell the coffee in regards to them guys, because they don't love Man United. They love themselves and their opinion and their platform. That's what they love. You know, I love Man United, and I love my community and my platform. You know, both of them. But I like to speak the truth. Lawrence, that was my music account. I'm appalled by Bruno is getting Player of the Month. He seems in control of everything in the club. We won't get Europe as long as they're a management and team. Absolutely, Lawrence. And this is why I talk a lot about Bruno Fernandes, because I know that he is a big issue at the football club. I know that he's a massive problem at the football club. I know that he has more power than he should, and he shouldn't, you know, at the end of the day. And this shows you the levels that Man United are going to, you know, the levels that Man United are, you know, that we're giving him Player of the Month. When there was, I think every single player, apart from Dalot and Shaw, I think all the rest of the players in there have had a better month than him. Better than him. I really do. De Ligt, Euro, Sesko, Cunha, Embuemo. I think Ugarte's been better than him. Yeah, you know. Big up Lawrence. Where's Lee Charles? Supposed to be back very soon, but we need to get him up to scratch. It's a problem, isn't it? You know, Licha Martinez. People forget about Licha Martinez is one of our most important players, one of our most and vital players in the team, you know. He's one of our vital players in the team. And, yeah, you know, it's sad People forget him. People forget about how long we've missed him, you know, at the end of the day, how long we missed him. My wife calls the toxic fans fanemies. Great word. Absolutely. Great word. Great word. Fanemies. Fanemies. That's what they are. They're not Man United fans. They have no characteristics of Man United fans. They don't love the fans. I'm talking about all of them guys. Even the girl. You know, the girl. That girl. You know who she is. He's jealous of Ruben Aaron because he gets more girls than her. And then, you know what I would say is that I think that is a great word, fanemies. Fanemies. It's like frenemies, isn't it? It's like frenemies. Your enemy who's pretending to be your friend, isn't it? You know what I mean? Big up Dan, bro. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Seriously, if Ruben doesn't start Lamens and the keeper Bruno out the team, sentiment, he clearly don't know how to manage this team, or he's doing it by purpose, Dan, bro. Or he's doing it by purpose. Mark, Bruno got player of the month for missing 2 penalties. They will make him captain next. He is a yeah, absolutely. He should have been stripped of that captain. Yeah, he's being sarcastic, Kenny. We always knew he was going to lose a majority of the starting games. We get set by the channels we've watched these lads for years. Dallo, Bruno, etc. What do you expect? I don't think it's so much the games where we lost there, Neil. I think it's the way we played against Brentford and teams like that. I mean, realistically, we're being honest with ourselves. We should have lost 5 or 6 against Brentford, you know, and I think that is where people get concerned. Also, where people get concerned is when you're playing the same players as you keep playing. He didn't need to play those players, Neil. He did not need to play Dallo. He did not need to play Shaw. He did not need to play Bruno. He did not need to play Maguire. Especially playing them in a high line when they're slow. You know what I mean? So we can back Ruben Amorim, but we also have to call out the mistakes for what he's made, you know? Because he has. And he better change it tomorrow. Sal, they definitely don't look to invincible Liverpool at the minute. Nope. I think try to change too much too quick. Be interested to see if they beat Chelsea. Will be the media will go after Arne Slot. Absolutely. I mean, it's a big game for Maresca and Arne Slot. If any one of those lose the game. Absolutely right. What I said at the beginning of the season, I think there is such a thing of overly cooking it. I think Liverpool have overcooked it a little bit. I didn't think they needed Florian Wirtz and Ekitike. I think they overcooked it a little bit, and you can overcook it. I think Real Madrid did that back in the turn of the century when they got the Galacticos. I think they overcooked it. They built all the great players, and they kept overcooking things and stuff like that. And I think that sometimes you can. Look, I'm not saying it's not going to come good for them. I'm not saying that, but you know, I do think that they signed the wrong profile players, and that's where we go into Arne Slot, because a lot of us did say that let Arne Slot build his own team, then we can judge Arne Slot. You know, and here we are, guys, you know. Big up, Benny. Ellen, so-called Man United fans contacted Lindelof's wife while she was pregnant and told her they wanted the child to... Really? We have to remember they are humans and sport is not hate. I never heard of that, Ellen. I never heard of that, but that's disgusting if it did happen. Awful. Like I said, guys, people who know me, I'm a humanitarian, and I don't agree with those sort of things. I had a player called Jason McAteer on this channel. Scroll back, look at the interview. The reason I had Jason McAteer, who's an ex-Liverpool player, played against Man United in a 1995 FA Cup final when Cantona got the winner. He was on the line and he let it go past him. I mentioned that to him. And I interviewed Jason McAteer because people were wishing him the similar thing. You know, bad things, which I don't want to say on here. And I started speaking about where rivalry takes a back seat. There's a hatred and there's a disgust hatred. There's like a vile hatred that surrounds football. Now, not only in regards to Lindelof, I think Ugarte posted a picture of his wife whilst he was on holiday, and I saw some of the comments underneath his comment. And just look who those people are. Just look who those people are. Look who those people are. They live in a village somewhere, right? They don't understand the heritage of Man United. They don't understand what Man United are. They're impatient little brats that don't want to wait. You know what I mean? And they base their whole philosophy of supporting Man United because of sinister reasons. And that's what I would say. You know, and that's what they are. They're not Man United fans. Those people who do things like that to their own players are not Manchester United fans. Disgusting. Really disgusting. Benny, sorry. Dan, bro, let's talk Sunderland. This is the must-win game for them. Yeah, spoke about it already at the beginning of the show, Dan, bro, and yesterday in the match preview. Watch the match preview, Dan, bro. Guys, don't forget to watch the match preview of yesterday. In fairness, the Scousers are great crack for banter. They are great crack. Yeah, they are laugh. They are laugh. You know, when I used to go to Man United games when I used to have my season ticket, and I used to go, and I used to get the train back to London, as people know. And the amount of times I've sat there, right, with Liverpool fans and just absolutely had the greatest conversation about football, non-stop. And it's always a good conversation. It is always a good conversation, you know. MB the creator, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. 90% of football YouTubers, like Sal said, are just waffling for clicks, using admin staff to control the flock and pretending it's actually on an open community for open opinions. Great comment. Great comment. I'll give you an example. I no hate to any YouTubers out there because I know it's a difficult job. I know they need to eat, right? But what I would say, there are YouTube channels out there that act like they're very open-minded with comments and opinions, and everyone has their opinion. Everyone's allowed an opinion. But when you have an opinion, they get defensive, they get angry, you know what I mean? You could see how quickly they turn on the manager, how quickly they switched on the manager. You know, you got people like Flex, whose ball knowledge is as sophisticated as my ball sack, basically. You know, that is sophistication in football knowledge, right? That is what he's a bimbo, right? He just goes with the narrative, and there's many of them like that, not just him. They go into the narrative. They go into the narrative of what is popular at the moment. What is TalkSport saying? What is Sky? Why do you think I haven't been invited on Sky Sports? Why? It's because I have an open opinion. I actually have an intelligent opinion about everything. I don't have to actually have one thing. Do you know what I mean? Also, I don't tick boxes, which they do. Do you know what I mean? But that is what it is at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of these people are in it for that. I'm going to grow this channel, and we will get to 100,000, guys. We'll get further than that by spitting the truth, by getting the gospel. That is what, by spitting the gospel. That's what we're going to do, you know? That's what we're going to do. They go on their TalkSport, la, 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 la. That's what they do. Scream and shout. Oh, this is going to get me likes. Yeah. Yeah, Mark Goldbridge gave you that bloody platform, you prat. You know what I mean? And that's at the end of it. That's what it is. You know, and all of them did. And I've spoken to Mark, and I've spoken to all of them, and he regrets giving them that platform too. You know? They bring the shame to the fan base, absolutely. Neil, don't read this, Sal. Up to UPTV did the same thing to Eric Ten Hag. Now it's Ruben. Same with United stand. They backed Bruno. Now they backtrack. United stand and Mark Goldbridge are very, very open-minded with their opinions. They're not, get that manager at my football club. Get him out of my club now. Get him out. Mark Goldbridge is the most level-headed one, in my opinion. The rest of them, no. The rest of them, and Mark Goldbridge doesn't need to sensationalize everything because he already has a massive platform. But, you know, a lot of them, the other dudes there, they feed the narrative on Sky Sports and obviously TalkSport, and they go by what is popular. You know, they don't go by what, and none of them have knowledge of Man United. I can come on here and I can talk about the history of Man United without looking at a spreadsheet. I can talk about the history to you non-stop. And you know what? I would love to get him around a proper round table and school them on Man United. But it's what it is. This is the world that we live in nowadays, you know? Fake it till you make it, and that's what they are. Fake it till you make it, and that's what it is. In this case, they're faking being Man United fans, you know. Neil, I trust the opinions of those YouTubers. The mainstream they don't like them for some reason. Yeah. Big up, MB. That's Mark. Then you get the rest. Mark gave him a platform. Unfortunately, should have gave me a platform. I would have been more true to him, and more loyal, and more, you know, spitting the truth. You know what I mean? Have you seen the latest Biani Bandit episode? I don't watch it, Kenny. I really don't. I don't like watching three men, sweaty men, in a small little room, spitting on each other. God knows what else they spit on behind the scenes, but I don't like three little men spitting on each other in a stream acting like clowns. It's just not me, mate. I'm a more of a serious guy. I come from a world where I worked in music 20 years. I worked with Tupac Shakur's Outlaws. I worked with G Unit. I worked with people like that, guys, and it's all over YouTube. You know what I mean? I come from a different world. And I did that without having the facility of a YouTube or someone putting me on. I come from a small little flat in Leytonstone in East London. And that's what I'm saying. So I don't really bother watching them. They're kids to me. Good luck to the kids at the end of the day. Sound like Michael Jackson now. They probably have Michael Jackson under their closet anyway, inside their closet. But yeah, look, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, Rooney's interview was fantastic. Absolutely. Used to watch Adam on FUTV, but that channel has changed to the media narrative. It's all media. They all want the clicks. They all want the VIP passes. And I'm telling all these people out there, be careful who you support, because they're not interested. They're not interested, you know, in what is right, what is wrong. They go by the popular narrative, you know. And as I said, I'm self-made. I ain't had no platform people to boost, and I've still had great people on this channel, guys. You know what I mean? And I will continue to do that by spitting the truth and spitting the gospel without being a Biani bandit or without being anything like that. You know, I think they slightly indirectly make fun of the football club. You know. Fat Sal, no, Kenny, don't trap back. You see these, I mean, I know, mate. I'll never trap back. I'm true to my word, mate. You know, I'm true to my word. I will be honest with everyone. I'll be honest with everyone. I will call anyone, like, you know, anything. I will say anything, you know, about anything. I'll be true. Like, I rate KG. I think KG is a very good fan, a very good personality. Do I think he has the best football knowledge in the world? No. But I think he's a fantastic personality and not a hateful person, you know? And that's what I would say about that. Absolutely. There is no truth in football, only opinions, and a poor player in one team can move and be a fantastic player. Well, there is truth in football. There is truth in football. Isn't 1958 a truth? Isn't 1968 a truth? They're all truths. There's truth in football. Not just opinions, there's truths. There is truths. Man United won the league in 1996. That's the truth, right? Absolutely. Big up, Mark. MB, not saying the club should hate YouTubers, but they should be scared of them, as they are supposed to be the voice of the fans, not the voice. A lot of them are not the voice of the fans, like MB Curator. They're not the voice of the fans, and we have to get that out of the head. I am. There are a few. There are a few. Mark is. Let me tell you that right now. I know him. 7 years. I am. There are voices of the fans, but there's also voices of people who are only interested in their own voice, you know? There's a reason why it's called TV programs, guys. Be careful what you are addressing. 100% be careful. You follow. They're programming you, innit, to think a certain narrative. Absolutely, Neil. And that's what they do on the TV in particular. That's why it's called a program. Exactly, Neil. Peep the game. Exactly. And I worked in music and media for 20 years, guys. So I know exactly what this world is about, who runs the media, etc., 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 you know? And I will never backtrack from what I say. They can come on here. They can go on their channel. They can diss me. They can say what they want. You know, at the end of the day, I've achieved a lot more with a lot less, you know? And what I would say is this, right? I didn't start it anyway, guys. Roy, good morning. How you doing? Do you think football hate watchers should exist? Saying that because you don't want, I mean, it's just, you got to be entertaining as well, Roy. I mean, when you're watching other clubs, you're entitled to have a hate along or something like that. I think that's all right. I actually think that's all right. What I don't like is people who pretend to support the football club that they're supposed to support. And that's all I care about. There are actually people who want Ruben Amorim to lose tomorrow so it can add weight onto their narrative. Do you know what I mean? And that is what I don't like. I disagree with that with a passion. With a passion, I disagree with it, you know? And I don't mind having hate-alongs and stuff because I want teams to lose sometimes. There's some teams out there that I want to lose. There's some teams out there that I want to win, you know, more than others. But I wouldn't call it a hate along. I'll just call it a watch along. You know what I mean? Because obviously I'll be copying someone, wouldn't I? But I mean, it has to be entertaining at the same time. That's what I'm saying. You know, those channels had big pull in keeping Bruno. They're definitely watching these channels. We need to make Sal's voice big because it's the truest into what the working man and real fan. No matter what you fan, Neil, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, mate. Because that's what I aim for. I come from the working class. I come from a small flat in Leytonstone, 5 of us in 1 bedroom, right? I came from that to working with platinum selling artists when I was doing music, right? I came from nothing. So I didn't come from that by being an absolute kiss ass or being a sheep. I didn't come from that or being a coward. You know, I came from that from being real to myself. You know what I mean? Guys, I started supporting this club at a very young age, and one of my best friends introduced me to this football club many years ago in the late 80s. And I love this football club ever since I learned about the history of the football club, you know, the heritage of the football club. I love this football club ever since, you know, and I will forever love this football club. But being raised supporting this football club, you know who's real and who isn't real. You get to know that. You know who's doing it for likes. You know who's doing it for clicks. You know who's a real fan. You know who's a fake fan. You know, I want nothing more, even if I have 1 viewer and 1 subscriber, than Man United to win everything. I would swap it all for that. Everything. I would swap it all for Man United to be successful. You know, and that is the most important thing, I would say. You know, I like to give people a voice as well. I like to give people a voice. That's what I'm about. Mark. Big up, Neil. Thank you so much, my friend. I mean, people saying their opinions are truths. There are facts and that they are truths. People can believe. If you believe in a lie, some people believe in a lie so intensively, so religiously that they start believing their lie. And that is the thing with these people. They believe in their lies. You know, even if it is trying to be a Man United fan, they believe in their lies. And I think that is the problem with them, you know, at the end of the day. Sal, was it just me? Was there a slight problem in your mic while reading my comment? Pardon me if I'm wrong. Probably, Roy. I'd need to get a new mic. I need to get... guys, I just want to say that I'm in an apartment in UAE. It is quite echoey. I haven't got everything set up yet. I am on the way to getting my own studio in the UAE, so I'll be doing more streams from there. But at the moment, I'm in an open space. And as people know, if they've ever been to the UAE, they would know that... You know, it is echoey in some of the apartments, of course. Absolutely. 65 in a room and only 31 likes. Hit the likes. Guys, you guys are out of order, guys. Don't forget to smash the like, guys, please. Thank you so much. Ephraim, Sal, are you an example of a true United fan? Big up. Thank you, Ephraim, my friend. Thank you. Benny, of course, watch along every single Man United game. Friendlies the lot, mate. I'll be there, my friend. Neil, your prediction is your reality. Agreed. But if someone is pissing on you and you believe it's rain, there's something wrong. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Look, let me tell you, those fan bases, those fan channels that I've been talking about, they're taking the fans for mugs. They're taking the fans for mugs. Let me tell you that right now. You know, I know the person who gave them that platform. I've spoken intensively to the person that gave them that platform. So I know, you know. One of them went to the United Stand trials, had a Tottenham shirt on underneath the vest. Not going to say who it is. Metal. Thanks, Sal, for speaking out against the fake United fans. What's sad is that new YouTubers from other countries are now copying it for just clicks. Yeah, and it's up to us to separate the crap from the real, isn't it? It's up to us to be real to ourselves and support what's real, you know? And that's what I'm always going to do. I will always forever do that. Just keep supporting what's the real, you know? Guys, I've gone over the time, but I really appreciate every single one of you. You know, I do. You're absolute legends. Thank you for liking the stream. Big up, Ellen. Thank you. Please don't forget to like the stream. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Have a great day. Have a great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. And I'll see you later on. Guys, let me just say, before I leave, I will be on MHF channel. MHF with Judge Mo and Hussam, the Liverpool fan Hussam, later on guys. It will be 5 p.m. UK time. I'll be on there, guys. It will be 8 p.m. my time, but 5 p.m. UK time on MHF channel. That's Judge Mo and Hussam's channel, guys. So I will be on there representing Man United. So don't forget to join me. Don't forget to subscribe to that channel, guys. And I will see you. MHF, Mother Hotel Foxtrot. Okay. I will be on that channel later on today. So don't forget to subscribe to that channel. I'll be on with Hussam and Mo again. And don't forget to join me for that. I will be representing Manchester United, as I always do, guys. Take it easy, guys. Keep spreading the word. Thank you so much, Neil. It's all about spreading the word, isn't it, guys? It's all about spreading the word. And I will not change even with 1 million subscribers. That's me, guys. Have a great day. Have a great night, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take it easy, guys. See you soon. Peace.